All right, guys. So today I have a little topic. All right. This is a warning. Okay. And this is fix your habits. Okay. Fix your habits. See, it's your habits that keeps you in this low frequency. It's your habits that keeps you in a bad environment. It's your habits that makes your life suck. If your life sucks, if there's any problems in your life, if there's any chaos, it shows that there's something in your life that's against Yahweh. It's against Yahweh's will. There's something that's messed up. There's something that's not going right in your life. Whether it's you, whether it's your habit of, people have a habit. There's a habit. There's the things that you do, your characteristics, the things that you do, your lifestyle. But then if you also consider, you might have a habit of being around people that don't have similar mindset or similar lifestyle to you. So because you do that, you take on their curses, I'll say. You take on whatever they're doing bad as well. Because if you're in a pair with someone, if you're together with someone, you're going to get the same. It's like the world. All right, this world. All right, you get a cold, it's contagious. You pass it on. It's the same thing with frequency. All right, it's the same thing with your habits, same thing with your lifestyle, same thing with your mindset. If someone has a negative and they're around you, it's going to rub off on you if you're not strong enough. All right. But now let's get into how to fix your habits. Okay. And I'm gonna point out all the different habits that people have that makes their life suck, that makes your life negative, that keeps you away from Yahweh. Okay. God's real name is Yahweh, by the way, for anyone that's new that hasn't heard the name Yahweh before. The name Yahweh is God's real personal name. Okay. It's the name of the living God. All right. But let's just start off with some Bible verses. All right. So we have Romans 12:2. So right here it says, be not conformed to this world, and be ye transformed by renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable, perfect will of Yahweh. All right, so right here it says, be not conformed to this world. Okay. All right, so be not conformed to this world. When you see conform means to be similar, to be identical. Okay, to be obedient or compliant, to be in accordance with the prevailing standards or customs. So if you are a person that, let's just say you're good, okay? Let's just draw it, okay? Let's draw it. Actually, I'm gonna draw it right here. All right, let's just say you're a good person. You follow the highest frequency laws. You follow Yahweh. You're on a good path, okay? You're on a good path. This scripture told you not be conformed. So let's just draw someone that's evil. All right, someone that has like bad characteristics, bad habits. They don't follow Yahweh. They don't follow the ways of Yahweh. They don't have order. Their life is chaos. All right, this person can be described as idle. Okay, so they don't do nothing all day. That's a negative characteristics. If you don't do anything all day, that's a negative characteristics. It's called slothful. It's lazy. Okay, let's just say they have evil. Let's just say all they do is just evil stuff. Okay, let's just say they have a chaotic life. All right, chaos. Let's just say this person is unproductive. All right. See, people like this, all right. And the funny thing is, it's red. So there's animals. It's not really I don't know what it is. All right, but the thing is, there's this thing called a leech, right? And the funny thing is, we drew it as red. So whenever someone has bad characteristics, it's a bad characteristic to be a leech, right? If you guys don't know what a leech is, I think it's spelled L-E-C-H or L-E-A-C-H, one of those two. But anyways, a leech is a blood-sucking, parasitic. It latches onto something that has life, basically. So that's what these people do, all right? So if anyone has any bad characteristics, if they're not willing to change their habits, if they're not willing to change, they try to leech onto that good person. All right. But as that good person, see, this person's already evil. They're already living in chaos. They're already unproductive. They have nothing to lose. They don't follow Yahweh. They have nothing to lose. They have nothing to lose. They already lost. They're already losing. See, the whole point of them is to hopefully convert over to the winning side, to become good. But if they don't want to do that, all right, they don't want to do that. Let's just say they don't want to transfer. They're going to leech off the good person until that good person is just dead. All right. And this can be a financial thing, it could be an emotional thing, it can be a spiritual. They're going to leech onto you and take from you spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, in every way, shape, and form. They are going to leech and take from you. Okay, so these people, dang, this class was even about this. But it says you don't want to be similar or identical to them. All right, you see that they have negative characteristics. Your life is good. For some reason, their life is bad. For whatever reason, their life is bad, whether it's their characteristics, their lifestyle, their environment, their habits. Something in their life is not right that's making their life bad. See, you have to look at people. You have to look at people, and it's like, all right, you have to look at people. And if you're talking to someone, if you meet someone, let's just say someone's a billionaire, and would a billionaire take advice from a homeless person? No, they simply wouldn't. Unless it was a billionaire that went homeless and they're telling them how to not go homeless. That's the only way, shape, or form that he'll probably listen to him. But otherwise, a billionaire is not going to listen to business advice from a homeless person. What can the homeless person tell him about business? Their business is obviously failing. See, this person, their life is obviously on a down path. They're obviously failing. Something is not right. They're unproductive. This person, let's just say they're productive. Their life is on a good path. They're ascending. They're getting better. Everything that they're doing is just better. They're building good habits. They're actually changing. See, this person, unknowingly, them leeching off you is sucking your life away to the point where you're going to end up dying. All right. That could be a mental, spiritual, financial, physical death. All right. It could be any way, shape, or form. All right. Spiritually dying. You go back into your old habits. You go back into your old ways. You don't follow Yahweh anymore. Okay. You don't follow the good high frequency levels, the high frequency ways. That's a spiritual death. Okay. Mental death. You're depressed. You're sad. You're torn mentally. You're torn apart mentally. You're torn into two. You want to be this good person, but this leech, let's just say it's your family. It's your family. It's your loved one. You're still latched onto them. Even though they're leeched on you, you would just let them suck all that blood off of you. You just let them just keep sucking your life away. All right. So that's like the mental death. All right. Until it just destroys you mentally. Financial. Let's just say this green person, let's just say their money going up. Their life is going good. But this person, let's just say you're paying for everything for them. They live with you. All right. This person's asking you for money. This person's asking you for stuff. This person's using you for money. This person's just leeching off of you. They don't work. They're unproductive. They don't work. They don't make money. You make money. So you're their source of income. You're their source of income, basically. You never want to be someone else's source of income. Ever. Like how? That like, it doesn't make sense. Two people with two different lifestyles, it's just going to be chaos. It's going to be chaos. Okay. So, and then wait, it was spiritual, mental, physical, physical death. This person, they're already evil. They're already doing bad stuff to you. They might do something crazy to you. They might actually do something that's physically crazy to you. Okay. Or they might get to a point where they're tearing you apart so much to the point where you can't even care for yourself physically. You start getting sick because their negative frequencies making you get sick. Okay. The actions, the things that they're doing wrong makes you sick physically. All right. So you don't want to be similar or identical to these people. You don't want to be in agreement or harmony. If it's like you're the average of the people that you hang around. Like if there's 5 billionaires together and you join that group, you're most likely a billionaire, someone that's going to be a billionaire soon. If there's 5 millionaires and you try to join this group, you're probably going to be the 6th millionaire. All right. Because you hang around who you're like. Okay. So now if you hang around, let's just say it's 5 degenerate people, whether they do illegal stuff whether they don't do any work, whether they don't make any money, whether they have no moral values. All right. And then you're a millionaire. By you hanging around them, you're lowering you're most likely going to pick up on their habits and lose everything that you have. Okay. Basically. So you don't want to be in harmony. You don't want to be in agreement with people that aren't in a place that you don't even want to be in. Okay. And it's just like that billionaire and homeless guy story. Why would a billionaire become a best friend with, or be in harmony or be in agreement with a homeless man? Like, what do they have to agree on? They're in like two different frequency levels. Like, besides money, if you just look at the frequency of both of them, they're in two different frequency levels. Okay. So the billionaire doesn't necessarily have anything to gain from that. The homeless man has a lot to gain. He has a lot to gain. And if he humbles himself and listens and changes his ways, then he could probably be like the billionaire. But a lot of people have pride and they're not willing to change. They don't understand that someone else's ways are better, that Yahweh's ways are better. Okay. For conform, remember the scripture said, be not conformed to this world. All right. Conformed is obedient or compliant. Why are you complying to evil? Why are you complying to something that's bad? Why are you complying to something that is not where you want to be? It doesn't make sense. All right. To act in concordance or prevailing standards. Like, you really have to separate yourself from people that you don't want to be like. Okay. But yo, let's go back to the scripture. All right. To this world. Okay. So now to this world, let's go to this world. Okay, let's just see what this world is described as. See, whenever you're looking at the Bible, it's important to look at all the different meanings of these words, individual words. All right. You want to go word, like, you just want to find out what all these different words actually mean. Because yeah, we know what conform means. We know what people mean, or this world means. But when you look at it, it gives you a deeper meaning. All right. So now for world, it says, don't conform to this world. So don't conform to the masses. Okay. The masses are the commoners, the multitude of people, the millions, the populace. Okay. And if we break it in terms like this, if we just break it in terms that can be easily understood. All right. So now if the masses of people, this is the mass, let's just say this is the mass of the US. Okay. So there's this thing called 1%ers. All right. To be a 1%er, these are usually the people that have some type of business, or they climbed up high in some type of business. They got some type of high status. They make money. That's what considers them a 1%er. These people usually have, they usually have financial literacy. I'm just gonna put finance. I'm just gonna put fin for financial literacy. These people usually have good habits. All right, these people usually have good habits. These people are different. Like, the way that they operate life is different than the masses, which makes them 1%. Right? These people are different. They're not the same as the masses. There's a clear distinction. Whenever you meet someone and you know that they're a 1%er, you can see it on them. You can see from the way that they talk, the way that they dress, the car they pull up in, the way that they act, their mannerisms. You can see it. Right? Now, what else makes the 1%ers different? Obviously, well, we already put financial literacy, which is money. Okay. And then the masses, whenever you go to the masses, it's the same frequency. It's the same, I'm gonna say it's like the same low frequency. They go to school every day, go to work every day, go home, repeat. Go to school, go to work, go home, repeat. Go to school, go work, go home, repeat. It's a low frequency. All right. Nobody likes to go into school every day. Who likes going to school every day? All right. You don't learn. All right. All right. Who likes going to work every day? You have to work, but necessarily doesn't mean you like what you do at work. All right. See, but these people, they actually like their work. All right. They like what they do usually. All right. If you're a business owner, you probably found something that you're passionate about that you started a business on. Right. And the masses, all right, let's just say the low frequency, it's they live like a hamster wheel lifestyle. Hamster wheel. They are, you could put common, and I'm not saying that they're common. The reason why I put common is because you won't find much different, right? Like if we go to like a university, if we go to a high school, if we go to a job, okay? All the people there probably have the same characteristics, same traits, they have a lot in common. They have a lot in common, right? But then the 1%ers, they have like the weird stuff about them. Like someone might wake up at 6 a.m. and he reads all morning. He reads all morning. He studies all morning. He's looking at stock charts all morning. When the masses aren't doing that. They're obviously not doing that, or else they will be in this category too, right? So the world can be described as the masses, okay? So the world is the masses. Why are you, if you want to be up, if you want to be different, if you want to be that 1%er, if you want to be better in life, if you want to change and break out the system, why are you doing the same things as the masses, the world? So it's like, don't be conformed to the world, be different, right? And the world can be, even though the world, we're talking about the world as a whole, the world has individual people that make up the world. So if you're around someone that is part of the world, right? They do worldly things, they have the worldly mindset, they have the common traits, then it's the same thing. If you're hanging around them, you're hanging around the world basically, because they're just a product of the world, okay? So you want to separate, you don't want to conform to these worldly, all right, yeah, the world, the people that make up the world, right? But anyways, let's keep going. But be transformed by renewing of your mind. See, you have to transform yourself, transform and renew your mind. So the ways that you used to think, the things that you used to say, your mannerisms, your mindset, your level of thinking, all needs to be renewed. It all needs to change. Because if you're in this state and you want to go up and you want to be in this state, there has to be a change. There has to be some type of change, right? And there's a lot of different laws in this world where it's like the law of equivalent exchange. You can't change to this without giving up something, okay? And usually the easiest way is to give up your old life. You give up your old lifestyle, give up your old habits, give up your old lifestyle overall, all the things that it consists of, your old environment, the old things that you used to do, the old things that you used to have fun doing. You give that up and you naturally change into like this new person, okay? Anyways, yeah, you have to renew your mind. You can't change. How can something get better if you don't change? It doesn't make sense. If you stay the same mentally, if your habits are the same, you're going to get the same results. It's going to be the same results, okay? So you have to renew your mind. Renew your mind into Yahweh's will, okay? So Yahweh's will is his word, okay? His word overall, the things that are aligned with the Bible, the things that he's teaching you, the good characteristics. All good characteristics come from Yahweh. All good characteristics are of Yahweh. All good characteristics, all acceptable things, all perfect things are of the will of Yahweh, all right? So you renew and change your mind, transform yourself so that you may prove what is good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh. So once you change yourself, you're able to prove what the good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh is. See, once you change, you become this green dot right here. Then it's gonna be like, dang, you, like the masses, the people in this situation, right? The people that were the red dot, they're gonna be like, dang, he was just like me. And then he stopped hanging out with us. He started reading more. He started talking about Yahweh. He stopped eating the same foods we eat. He cut off everybody. But now he's this now. He's like way different now. He's like, I can't even recognize this person anymore. He's a whole new person. See, but he had to give up all those other things. If he didn't give up those other things, he would just be like these people still. Because you have to like change requires giving up different things. Okay. All right. If someone wants to be fit, All right, if someone is, let's just say someone's obese, okay? They have to give up their eating habits. They have to give up their lifestyle habits. They have to give up their physical habits so that they can be, these are some biceps and fit. Okay, I don't know what type of biceps those are, but he has to give up something to go be fit. Whether it's his eating, his diet, his lifestyle, his activity, physical level, he has to give up something. He has to sacrifice less TV, couch time, more working out. Simple. All right, you can't change if you don't change. It doesn't make sense. It makes no sense. So that's fix your habits. Okay, that's the first section. So now let's go a little bit deeper. Let's go into a different version. Okay, let's go into a different aspect of it. So, all right, so but he answered in Matthew 15:3. He answered and said unto them, why do ye transgress the commandment of Yahweh by your traditions? All right, so why do you transgress? Okay, so we're going to go to the word transgress. So a lot of people unknowingly or knowingly transgress the commandment of Yahweh by their traditions. Okay, so we're going to break this down real quick. All right, so transgress is offend. You offend Yahweh by your traditions. You offend Yahweh. Okay, you sin. All right, your traditions. We're going to go into traditions too, because you're probably thinking Christmas, Thanksgiving, those are traditions and those are against Yahweh. They do offend Yahweh, but it's deeper than that. Okay, but so transgress is violate, break the law, mess up. Your traditions mess up the commandment. All right, they break the law, they violate the commandments that Yahweh has. They breach the commandment. All right, you don't want to breach the commandment. If Yahweh tells you, see, Yahweh, a lot of his commandments can be, look, I'll show you guys one commandment. This is a literal commandment. He says, be strong and of good courage, be not afraid. So if you're weak, you're breaking that commandment. That's simple, because the word be implies a command. And he says, have I not commanded thee? Be strong. All right, so just by you being weak, you're breaking that commandment. It's that easy. So if the Bible tells you be rich, be profitable, be fruitful, be abundant, and you're not, that means you're breaking that commandment somehow. Something is going wrong where you're breaking that commandment, which is messing up your life. Okay, but ultimately, transgress was to you break, you violate, or you violate the commandment of Yahweh by your traditions. Let's go to the traditions now. Okay, so yes, it is Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween. All those are traditions that are against Yahweh. Okay, some of you guys could say no, it's not. It is. If you look at the origins, if you look at the history of any of those traditions, it doesn't even stem from the Bible. Okay, it doesn't stem from the God of the Bible. The God of the Bible, he has Feast of Weeks, Passover, he has Day of Atonement, he has Tabernacles. What else we have? Memorial blowing of the trumpets. Those are his feasts. Those are his days. Those are his traditions. Anything outside of those, I probably didn't name all of them. There's a few more, okay? But anything like Christmas, okay? If you look at Christmas, it's not even in the Bible. I can find a million scriptures that tell you. Okay, I won't say a million. I can find a lot of scriptures that can tell you where it's not in the Bible. All right, you can't even find out when Yeshua was actually born. All right, does it even make sense? But anyways, all right, let's keep going though. Let's keep going. All right, where are we at? Let me I gotta lock back in. Hold up. Traditions. Okay, traditions. Okay. So traditions. Your traditions is the inherited or established way of thinking, feeling, or doing. So your traditions are your inherited, established way of thinking. So the way that you've been thinking all your life, whether if it's bad, is offending Yahweh. It's a sin. The way that you're thinking is a sin. Okay. And I'll show you guys proof of that. Some people don't think that, oh, it's a sin to think like a bad way. Look at this. All right. It's repented. All right. There's this scripture right here. All right. It repented Yahweh. All right. The Lord, it translates to Yahweh, that he made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. Okay, let's go to the full context. And he said, and Yahweh saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and every imagination of his thoughts was only evil continually. See, you might think that your thoughts aren't evil, but Yahweh, his ways, his thoughts, the way that he thinks, the way that he operates is higher. He knows what good and evil is. So he knows what's evil. So your thoughts, just because this is the way that you've been thinking your whole life, right? And I'm not even talking, it could be something as little as having a scarcity mindset. That's technically evil. The Bible tells you to be abundant and be prosperous. Having a scarcity mindset can be seen as evil because you're doing the opposite of Yahweh. Okay. Anyways, let's keep going. So the way that you think can be evil. So that's why you have to change your mind. You have to transform your mind. Your feelings, the way that you feel about life, the things that you feel, the way that you feel, feelings are very dangerous in this world. See, a lot of people attach themselves to people through feelings. Love is probably the most, love, if it's used wrong against you, can be dangerous. All right. If you love the wrong person, all right. If you don't understand what love actually is, if you love the wrong person, if you don't understand what real love is, you can get hurt. And it could really cause a down spiral in your life, cause everything to be destroyed, honestly. All right, but anyways, for traditions, we have customs, ethics, norms, the things that are norms to you, things that are normal. All right, it could just be the way that you wake up, your morning routine. All right, even though you don't have a morning routine, you have a routine of things that you do in the morning. So the things that you do on a normal basis can be against Yahweh. It can be transgressing the commandments of Yahweh. That's why it's very important to actually know the laws and know the commandments of Yahweh so you cannot break them. Okay, the values, the thing that you value, things that you value, it could be people. The people that you value can be against Yahweh. So if you value someone that's against Yahweh, it's like you're a traitor. You're a traitor. That's what it is. You're a traitor. All right. So imagine you have Yahweh. He creates you. He blesses you. He gives you all this knowledge, information, understanding, blesses you. Your life is just amazing. And it's all through Yahweh. So you got to understand that all wealth comes through Yahweh. All good things come through Yahweh. Okay. Imagine he gives you all this and you meet someone and you choose them over Yahweh by just being around them, by keeping them around, by allowing them to not follow Yahweh. All right. That means you value them over Yahweh. So what's going to happen? You transgress. That's a sin. You're transgressing. You're breaking the commandment. You're breaking the laws of Yahweh. Okay, but let's keep going. Your principles, the things that you value, your principles in life can be breaking the commandments. Let's keep going. That's good for now. Your lifestyle. That's a really good one. Your lifestyle, the things that you do, your lifestyle can literally just be against Yahweh. Okay, it could be against the God of the Bible. It can transgress, break, and violate. It can offend the commandment of Yahweh. I mean, do that. But anyways, let's go to the next section. All right, the next section. I want to go through these words right here. All right, so these are a few words that I had picked out that actually break the commandments of Yahweh. Okay, these words right here all break the commandments of Yahweh. These are all words that you do not want to be. If you are these words, you're breaking, you're offending, you're transgressing, you're sinning. These are all sins. Okay, these are all sins. Okay, even though it's not like, even though the Bible tells you like, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not do these certain things, just by having these characteristics, you're sinning. Okay, and I'm gonna show you guys how. All right, so we have idle. The word idle means dormant, unused, inert, off, inactive, at rest, unworkable, dull, lifeless, suspended, useless, out of commission. So if you're useless, if you have no use, you have no purpose in life, you have you do nothing. Okay, you're breaking the laws. Okay, if you're inactive, okay, you don't do nothing. You wake up, watch TV all day, do no type of work, do no type of thing that benefits you on a daily basis, and then you go back to sleep, wake up again, do it all again. You're inactive. It's actually breaking laws. Okay, if you are dormant, unusable, if you are lazy, all right, a lot of people know like the 7 deadly sins. One of the sins is slothful. If you read a bunch of Proverbs, you'll find a lot of verses about being slothful, and you'll find out that it's actually a sin. Okay, you do not want to be slothful. Okay, you do not want to be slothful. Slothful is not easily. Oh, let's go to more definitions. Inclined to sloth, spiritual apathy and inactivity. So just by you not, it says declination to action or labor. So by you not working on yourself, working on your businesses, you're not working, you're actually sinning. Okay, and it says spiritual apathy and inactivity. So spiritual inactivity, by you not praying, is also being a sloth. By you not praying and studying and reading the Bible, you're being a sloth. All right, because you have spiritual inactivity. But let's go deeper. So that's to show you guys that just by having an idle characteristic, you can find out what you need to change within yourself. Are you idle? You have to really look at yourself, be honest, and be reflective. Look at yourself. Are you idle? Are you not working as hard as you can? Are you not working to better yourself? Are you not praying as much as you can? Are you not studying as much as you can? Are you being lazy? Because if you're idle, it's going to lead to poor. Okay? See, all of these sins have consequences. If you're idle, the consequence is being poor. Right? All right, if you're weak, okay, as you guys can see, weak, we showed that verse earlier where it says be strong. This is the opposite of strong, weak. Right? If you're weak, let's look at what weak means real quick. Some definitions. Weak is lacking strength, feeble, not able to function properly, lacking skills and proficiencies, ineffective, tending toward a lower price or value. So if you devalue yourself, it just shows that it's like a weak mindset. Right? Ineffective, impotent. If you have no potential, you're described as being weak. Okay? If you are, let's see some more words, disabled, okay, paralyzed. See, a lot of people, yes, you might think of disabled as like you can't use certain parts of your body, but a lot of people make themselves disabled even though they have every single working function of their body. You make yourself disabled. You make yourself unable to do things, and that's what disability actually really is. Okay, besides the physical aspect, right? So for example, if you feel like you're not able to be successful, you're labeling yourself as a disabled person, basically. Because how are you not able to do something that other people can do? That means you don't value yourself. You don't see potential in yourself. If you don't see potential in yourself, then Yahweh's not going to see potential in you, because whatever you think on the inside is what you are. Okay, and your life is going to reflect that. Right? So weak is also impotent, unsteady. We have fragile, wimpish. So if you're a wimp, everyone always just telling you what to do, and you just taking it. You can never stand up for yourself. That means you're weak, and that's a sin, right? Like, you can't be weak. You literally can't be weak. And then let's go to immoral. So immoral, evil, and bad. Let's put all these three together. All right, so if you are immoral, you have no morals. You have bad morals. If you're evil, if you're bad, right? Let's just look. Let's go to evil. Okay, evil is which is morally unacceptable. So the person that made morals is Yahweh. See, everyone has their own morals, but the only morals that matters is Yahweh, because he made laws that tells you between good and evil. He tells you the things that you can do and that you can't do. So let's just say Yahweh has a law. Yahweh creates the morals. Yahweh created morals, right? You can't create your own morals. Your morals don't matter. Your morals are opinion. Your morals don't matter at all. Because the reason why your morals don't matter, because throughout your whole life, your morals probably changed. You probably had good morals and probably went to bad morals. You probably had bad morals and went to good morals. But the morals that actually matter are Yahweh's, because it's written down, it's law, it's commandment, right? And the morals are literally how you should act and behave and treat life. Okay, though that's morals, it's laws, it's order. Okay, so Yahweh created morals. So if you don't follow Yahweh's laws, if you don't follow Yahweh's morals, you're evil. You're evil. You're actually evil. Okay, that's why you're literally considered as evil if you don't follow the laws. Because it's like, if Yahweh has laws, if he created laws to teach you how to, overall, Yahweh's laws teach you how to be abundant. They teach you how to be abundant, how to be healthier, how to be wealthier, how to live peacefully, how to be healthy, clean. That's all. Like, that's what the laws tell you to do. There's no law that tells you, oh, you can't eat pork just because I don't like the way it looks. It tells you can't eat pork because it's going to cause you cancer. It's going to cause you diseases. It's going to cause bad bacteria to grow inside of you. It's going to cause health issues. That's why you can't eat pork. Okay. You can't lie, cheat, and steal, because imagine a city where everyone's just lie, cheating, and stealing. It's hell. It's hell. So obviously Yahweh has the laws, and when all those laws are followed by all the people that live there, it creates heaven. So if anyone is around you, whether it's family, girlfriend, boyfriend, friends, little brother, sisters, if anyone is around you and they don't follow Yahweh's laws, they're considered evil. Okay, they have no morals. Their morals, their own morals, their own opinion of how they should live their life is unacceptable. Okay, therefore they're evil in the eyes of Yahweh because they don't follow the laws. Okay, they're sinning. Their ways are wrong. Their ways are darkness. Okay, their ways is wicked. Okay, it's bad. Their ways are bad. Okay, so if you have these people around you, if you are okay with them having these wrong ways of life, these bad morals, and you accept their morals, you're going to get the same outcome as them. How can you be blessed if you are amongst people that are evil? All right, but let's just keep going. Okay, for evil we have hostile, ill, hurtful, wicked. Like, do you guys know any person where it's like, if anything goes bad, they just become into the most ill, wicked, hateful person, the most poisonous person? See, poisonous is like, they sting in you, bro. All right, wait, let's just look at this real quick. All right, poison is like, they're like, let's just look. All right, they have malicious or spiteful intents. Okay, they're destructive or harmful. See, when things are going good, they're perfectly fine with you, but when things don't go their way, they bite you. They're spiteful. They're malicious towards you. They say hurtful things. They say things that are rude, that are mean, that can really hurt you, that can poison you. See, poison has like a long lasting effect. When something is poison, you need an antidote. You got to get that poison out, or you suck the poison out. See, when someone has no morals, they're like a snake. They'll bite you in the back at any time and poison you. Poison kills you. So that's why if someone doesn't follow Yahweh's laws, if they don't follow the morals of Yahweh, do not trust that person. Don't trust them. They're a snake. They're bad. They're evil. They're unsafe to be around. At any moment, they could turn on you. Do y'all know any person? Think about it. Think about, like, really truthfully think about every single person in your life. And think, is there anyone that has snake characteristics? Is there anyone that has unsafe characteristics? Like, if I went against this person's opinionated morals, what they think is right in their life, will I be safe? Will they turn against me? Whether it's physically, verbally, financially, will they turn against you? Are they destructive? Will they try to destroy everything if you would like go against the grain from them? Will they try to destroy everything you got? See, a characteristic like this, like you don't just like become like a spiteful, evil person like that. Like that's already in you, you know? That's why everyone has a potential to change, but not everyone is willing to change. That's why if you're changing, if you want to be better, you have these people around you, you have to move. You gotta separate, or else it's gonna be a day where this destruction is gonna come. It's gonna be a day where you're gonna get, it's gonna be a day. It's gonna be a day. It might not be right now. It might not be in a week. It might not be in a month, but it's gonna be a day. Anyways, you have to change your habits, guys. You have to change your habits. You can't have evil, bad, immoral habits. You can't have evil, bad, immoral people around you, because other people's habits affect you unknowingly, right? If you live in the same house under the same roof with someone that has any of these bad habits, it's going to affect you in some way, shape, or form. Okay? So now let's go to the last scripture. The last scripture is okay, Leviticus 26, 1-5. Ye shall make no idols nor graven images, neither rear you up standing image, neither shall ye set up a stone in your land and bow down unto it, for I am Yahweh your God. All right, so you don't have idols, no false gods, no idols. I'm gonna keep it plain, clear, direct, straight, and simple. If the God's name is not Yahweh, it's not an original God, okay? I'm just gonna keep it plain, clear, straight, simple, to the point, okay? If you look at any God, if you could find a date to when the God was created, it's not a real God, because how is there a date to a God that created everything? You wouldn't even be able to track it. So if you could find out that this religion was created in 19 so-and-so, this religion was created in 1467, that shows that it was created. You got to find out who created it. Okay? See, the laws of Yahweh, you got to understand that Yahweh is not a religion. Yahweh, all he teaches you is life or death. All right? He teaches you how you should live your life more abundantly. And if you don't live your life this way, the things that are going to happen, okay? That's what Yahweh is. Yahweh is not a religion. He doesn't tell you. It's not a religion. Yahweh is just God. He's God. He's God. He's the living God. He gives you rules. He gives you orders. He tells you, live this way. You could be this. You could live life abundantly. You could be happy. You could be peaceful. Live this way. It's going to lead to destruction. He just tells you, it's like Yahweh created the road, and it's 2 lanes. All right. It's 2 lanes. It's a 2-lane road. All right. It's like this. All right. Boom. Boom. All right. Yahweh creates a road. He tells you this way is bad. If you go that way, you're dying. All right. If you go this way, you're going to live. You're going to live. He lets you choose. See, he lets you choose. He'd be like, okay, I'm not going to force you to do it, but whatever road you choose, there's going to be something at the end. See, this road has spikes at the end. There's spikes in the middle of the street. It's going to pop your tire. And then there's a monster in the forest that's going to eat you when your car don't work. That's what that road leads to. And then this road just leads, like, let's just say this road leads to happiness. Okay. It's heaven, happiness in heaven. Okay. That's what Yahweh does. He says, it's a scripture too. Let's go to the scripture. I put death and life before you. This is the scripture for what I'm speaking about. Okay, let's go to KJV. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you. I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that thou might and thy seed may live. So he just wants you to live. Yahweh just wants you to live, but he gives you he's giving you free will. So you get to choose, do you want to go this way or this way? Whatever way you choose, every decision you have has an equal and opposite reaction. Okay? You choose this way, you get the consequences for it. But if you choose this way, you get the benefits for it. Okay? And that goes with every single aspect of life. This goes to who you hang around on a daily basis, who you have around you, whose mindsets are you listening to, who do you talk to on a daily basis. It goes that deep. It goes to, do you follow the laws, your diet. It goes to, all right, how often do you study? This day, if you put the books down, you die. Okay, you're dying if you put the books down. You always have to learn, always have to study, always have to renew, refresh, put new information, put good knowledge into your mind. Okay, and the best knowledge is Yahweh's knowledge, which is his word, which is in the Bible. Okay, so right here we have, and ye shall keep my Shabbats and reverence my sanctuary. I am Yahweh. If ye walk in my statutes and keep my commandment and do them, then will I give you rain in due season, and the land shall yield her increase, and the trees of the field shall yield her fruit. And your threshing shall reach unto vintage, and the vintage shall reach unto the sowing time. Ye shall eat the bread to the full and dwell in your land safely. So from here to here, it tells you how to be blessed, basically. It says, if you walk in my statutes and keep my commandments and do them, then you basically get blessed. Verse 4 and 5 are blessings. All right. If you break it down, you'll understand that is blessings. You're going to be blessed. You're going to be wealthy. You're going to be healthy. You're going to be safe. You're not going to be starving, hungry to death. Okay. You're going to have bread to the full, which goes into money. Bread is money as well. All these different things are blessings. All you got to do is if you walk in my statutes and keep my commandments, you have to keep the commandments and do them. See, a lot of people might keep the commandment. A lot of people have possession of a Bible. You're technically keeping the commandment, like you got possession of it, but it said, and do them. All right. Just because you know the laws doesn't mean you're following the laws. You got to follow the laws. Okay. And if you're unwillingly following the law, if you're willingly breaking the laws, bad stuff happens. Let's just say that. All right. Let's go to the word statutes. All right. So statute is his ordinances, his decrees, his common law, his commands. Let's go to ordinances. An ordinance is order. Whatever Yahweh orders, if you do it, you get blessed. Whatever Yahweh doesn't order, if you do it, you're going to get cursed. Okay. So an ordinance, which is a decree, which is an order, is something ordained or something decreed by fate or a deity. So if Yahweh says, the book of Proverbs is very known for this. If it says, if you're slothful, you'll be poor. It's a decree. It has a fate. It says, if you're slothful, you'll be poor. That's your fate. If you're lazy, if you don't do nothing, if you're unproductive, you don't do nothing all day, you're going to be poor. That's what, see, a lot of people have it confused as, oh, like religions. Forget religions. Forget it. All these people follow these religions and they don't follow no laws. Like, what are you following? At the end of the day, what are you following? See, a lot of these religions say they don't even follow laws. Okay. So Yahweh has decrees. Yahweh has orders. Yahweh has commands. All these commands are literally, it could be the laws where it says like, thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do that. Thou, like the 10 commandments, those are decrees. But then you have ones where it's like, be strong. That's a decree. That's a order. Be strong. Okay. So anything that Yahweh commands you to do in the Bible, do it. All right. You got to do it and see what happens to your life. See, and that's how you have true change. See, you go from worldly, being conformed to this world, people telling you how you should live your life, people telling you how you should think, people telling you, oh, you can't do this because, see, and one thing, a lot of people limit or destroy their change. They destroy their state of change. They don't end up actually truly changing because the people around them are holding them back at the old frequency that they've always known them at. See, if you have people around you that control and dictate your life, that are influencing your life, then you can't really truly change. That's why one of the ways to truly change is changing your environment, changing your habits, changing your lifestyle, changing every single thing about your life. That's how you have true change. And once you have this true change, you change your fate, right? You put your, you go from freestyling, whatever happens in life happens, to putting your fate in Yahweh's hands. And if you put your fate in Yahweh's hands and you follow Yahweh, it can only end up one way. Only end up good. It can only end up good. Things only go bad for you when you change away from Yahweh. But anyways, praise Yahweh. Thank you guys for, praise Yahweh. Thank Yahweh for class. Hopefully you guys hopefully you guys learned something. All right, hopefully you guys learned something and actually apply it. See, it's good to know knowledge, but applying knowledge is what's important. You got to understand and apply the knowledge. Anyways, praise Yahweh. Thank Yahweh for class. All this knowledge came from Yahweh. Remember, Yahweh has the power to give you wealth, and he has the power to make you poor. Yahweh has the power to give you life, and he has the power to give you death. Yahweh is in control. Yahweh is God. All glory to Yahweh.